Right about now, we will be talking about the conversation that is all about drowning. We did mention earlier how this is a very serious, especially with the rain seasons and that have brought lakes and oceans to our doorsteps. It's incumbent that you know a thing or two about how not to drown or how to save someone. And so this morning we are joined by George Mukasa, who is the president of the Life Saving Association of Uganda. We are discussing what exactly is Life Savers Association, what is your mandate, and how is that contributing to the reduction in terms of drowning? Good morning, George. How is it going for you?
Morning, Tracy. Morning, our viewers. Life Saving Association Uganda is an association that brings together all stakeholders in saving lives, preventing tragedies like drowning in and around water bodies of Uganda, starting from bathrooms, village wells, swimming pools, beaches where most of us go for boat rides, basically up to swift water that we have around the country.
Okay.
So we do that under the civil society spectrum to make sure that we complement on what the government does to prevent drowning and disaster preparedness.
Okay. I did see a story, and when you talked about bathrooms, never at all do we even ever consider that side of life, that there could be some drowning. And I was also looking at a student who had gone for like a tour, taking pictures around falls and just drifted into and lost his life. But let's take a look at the key gaps that you try to bridge as the Life Saving Association. Where are the gaps? What are we missing out? Do we just do not know how to swim? They're just basics, even when I don't know how to swim, that needs to be dealt with for me not to drown in any case of such.
Thank you very much. What we should know is that everyone can drown, but no one should.
Okay.
And how does someone drown? Someone drowns when water enters into their airway up to the lungs, that is from the mouth and nose up to the lungs, and that causes inability to take a breath. And that means you will not have oxygen for the entire organs in your body. And that starts from as little as 2 inches of water.
Okay.
That means if your nose and mouth are engulfed into any water body or liquid, or even your vomitum or anything that you're taking through your mouth and nose, you can drown. Kind of a suffocation, but through a liquid. And that's quite dangerous from homes where we leave our kids to take a shower or feel the warmth of the bathtub, and then you go to pick a towel. So that difference can cause someone to drown. That's as little as being safe at home. So life saving starts from your immediate vicinity up to the public places we're talking about. And that's our mandate, to look after those prevention activities and preventative strategies that we want to bring to the country.
What are some of the key things we need to pay attention to? I mean, you're scaring moms out there. The kids love to stay in the basin for some time or in the bathtub for some time, and you want to just go and feel them, splash the water and play with it. And yet, like you clearly said, it could be just one step away to drowning. What are some of the things that one needs to know and needs to put in place to prevent drowning in that instance? From home all the way straight to I've gone to the beach to enjoy, I'm seeing others swimming, I just don't know, but I want to go and dive in.
Thank you very much. I'll start from an example of a homestead. You need to make sure that you know where the water bodies are. Are the drums covered? Do you have toddlers? Well, that is now what it is. Then, of course, you have a desirable status of being knowledgeable, awareness. We're doing advocacy because we want people to be aware of drowning, where it starts from. So, of course, from the homestead, the public, you need to know what are drowning-prone areas. And of course, we've had so many stories coming up through of late. But of course, anywhere that looks okay can be not okay in the next second.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. And of course, we need to also look at swimming classes, for example. We assume that the swimming coach is watching your students. You as a teacher who has come with the kids, you sit back,
TikTok.
get on TikTok.
Scrolling up on
and
their
of course,
phone.
you give the teacher, the swimming teacher, a lot of burden to see even those that are not swimming but have come to watch the classes. So it starts also from supervision, close supervision. And of course, we go next to look at preparedness. If you're going for a boat ride, do you know how long you're going to stay on the lake? Do you know the weather? Did you get the forecast? that there will be a stop.
For us, we go to enjoy.
And you know, from Kampala, when it's too hot, you think even in the middle of Lake Victoria, it is very hot.
Yeah.
It's just 10 meters away from the shore, and the weather changes. And that means if you can't survive if you're extremely too cold. You have organ failure. And most people actually do not drown because they can't swim. It's because of those other circumstances. So that's where we come in to do awareness and try to sensitize the public to start looking at water not as a problem and say phobia for water, but to embrace the challenge. Because we need water for homesteads, transport, gardens, everything. We need to live with a hazard.
We also need to remind us that swimming is an exercise.
Full-time, full-body exercise. Exactly.
Yeah. That's very important. I think for me, lastly, would be there are short-term strategies and there are long-term strategies to this campaign, particularly from the Life Saving Association. If you could just briefly tell us what are the short-term and long-term strategies towards ensuring that this campaign is successful in the long run.
Thank you very much. We started this campaign 1 year ago with Reach a Hand Uganda, and this campaign is basically to look at the school-going children. I know that those are not in school, and we shall have a plan for them, but at least for tracing purposes, we're here to look at how do these kids get to school and have a subject like swimming, and not swimming to compete in Olympics, but you know you can have them from that survival swimming to Olympics. This is basically survival. How can they survive? We have areas like Rakai, Mayuge, Masaka that are highest so far in the country, and that's our focus. As Life Saving Association Uganda and Reach a Hand, we're trying to bridge the gap of capacity building. Reach a Hand has partnered with so many people, even the government and civil society, to try and bring all stakeholders together. No single organization can stop drowning. But what we're doing first is capacity, train the teachers who are teaching survival swimming to the children. Get the opinion leaders, community leaders, and both in both spaces, private and public, government, to try and bring them to know that we have a problem. Because the moment you don't know the problem and the magnitude, then you can't tackle it. So through that now we've started going to schools in Mayuge. There are people who are crossing rivers like Lake Bunyonyi at Mayuge to go and get medication, go to school every day, and these are the highest in our numbers. So that's the short term, is to get the awareness, get the capacity, know the magnitude, which we've been informed by Makerere School of Public Health through the research. And of course, after knowing that in the long term, is to make sure we have that as a subject. Every school, every teacher, every patron of the school should know water safety. They should know how to survive. They should know how to prevent drowning through awareness, publicity of issues that can bring awareness, and also like the Next Media, of course, you are partners in this, and to try and broadcast this to the people to know that we should not stop swimming, but we should have survival swimming and have safe swimming practices that will prevent drowning numbers.
Okay. Thank you so much, George. Right there from the Life Saving Association of Uganda, bring us to a full realization of how close drowning can be from your homes to the pool, and what you need to know to ensure that doesn't happen. Anyone can drown, but not everyone has to drown. Now,